May you be blessed with an ever-expanding life.
Hi, it's Billy from Ever Expanding Life. Look at this awesome device you're going to see. Trust me when I say this build is going to get pretty crazy. I'm going to show you what it does and how I built it. But first, we need to understand how we got here. I have the really bad habit of becoming completely absorbed in a task. And when I say completely, I mean completely, to the exclusion of everything else. When I'm engaged in a project, I don't take breaks, I don't think to eat. I might stay at it 2 or 3 days straight without a wink of sleep until my body betrays me and I can no longer stand or stay awake. So, for Project 3 of Mark Rober's Creative Engineering class through monthly.com, we're going to build the Hero Bracer Habitizer. But Billy, what's the Hero Bracer Habitizer? That's what I'm going to show you. Trust me, it's cool, and it's going to help me break my bad habit while developing good ones. But why, you might ask? Why don't you just set reminders on your phone? Well, for one, who pays attention to reminders? 2, reminders can't hold you accountable. And 3, what fun is that? We're going to build a Hero Bracer Habitizer because we can. And who hasn't always wanted a superhero suit? This is a good first step. It will help me break away from the kryptonite of my bad habit and to cultivate the good habits of a Superman. And so it begins with the electronics. This is the proof of concept. Attached to an Arduino, we have a buzzer, a real-time clock, an infrared sensor that receives signals from a remote, a laser just for fun, a button, LED lights, an LCD screen, and a potentiometer to control its contrast. Here's the basic concept. Externally, we'll be able to see the LCD screen, the lights, and buttons, but all of the other electronics will be hidden inside. We'll start this build from the bottom up. The Arduino is the foundation of this build. So our first goal is to create something to hold the Arduino on our arm. Something with a large enough footprint to accommodate the layers to come. Speaking of feet, we'll start with scraps of leather from an old pair of boots. We'll sew them together with an underlayer of neoprene from an old wetsuit to provide grip and comfort. Now we need a fastener to secure it to our arm. Let's steal the zipper off this old bag. There we go. Alright, now let's stitch that on. So far so good. Let's finish it up. Okay, that looks functional. Let's try it on. Goes on easy. Zips up one-handed. Fits well. That should work. Let's attach the Arduino. We have our foundation. Something actually exists now. Let's build upon it. Arduino. Check. This breadboard worked well for our proof of concept, but it's just not going to cut it for our prototype. So, for our next layer, we're going to use an expansion board. Let's solder in our jumpers and resistors. Sweet. Now let's attach it to the Arduino. Looking good. What's next? Now that we've got the heart of the system, we need a rib cage to protect it and hide it. A container for the electronics. What do you think? Is this old router case big enough? We ought to be able to make something pretty crazy out of this. This will make a nice housing and provide a good subsurface. Now we can install our laser, our infrared receiver, and our buzzer. That brings us to the exposed parts. So now we'll need a faceplate. That'll do. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's get these parts assembled and wire it up. Yeah. I think I'll go make the battery retainer. Oh yeah, that'll do the job. Ah, that's much nicer. We're still a little rough around the edges. So, remember that bag we stole the zipper from? Yeah. Well, now we're going to scavenge some material to make some trim. That gives us something to work with. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get these on and see how she looks. Now it's just a fancy paperweight till I write the code. So let's get to it.
One eternity later.
Rise and shine, hero Bracer Habitizer. There we go. Welcome to reality. Let's see how this thing works. Once every hour, the hero Bracer Habitizer reminds me to break away from whatever I'm engaged in to cultivate one of several good habits. Oh boy. The selection is randomly generated from a program list, so I will never know what to expect, other than one thing, and that is, it will remind me twice a day to eat. However, I can't just ignore these alerts, because this habitizer comes with built-in accountability. My cooperation must be confirmed by remote. The habitizer is also programmed with 18 triggerable alerts that can be sent by remote at any time. Hey sweetheart, what's up?
Could you give me a hand with my Spanish homework?
Por supuesto, no hay problema. This hero Bracer Habitizer might just instill good habits in me yet. I'd say we're off to a super start. Alfred! What's going on? What's the emergency?
We are out of cookies.
May you be blessed with an ever-expanding life.
Ever expanding life.